sometimes we don't win. Don't give us a bird, don't give us your stink eye. We try our best and we're successful. Come watch our show, Bed River sponsors. It's time to start, enjoy the show.
Well, welcome in everyone to Betting Weekly Live, Friday the 6th of February. You with Steve Wyss and Jack Wright. Hope everyone is doing well. I am back in the host chair, Jack, after a week away. So how you been doing? You been keeping well?
I specifically asked Lewis Jones if I could swap just so that I could be on your comeback show. That's actually not the truth. Lewis asked me to swap because he's got a very important day at Charlton versus Queen's Park Rangers tonight. So here I am instead. Sorry, Lewis Jones fans, but he has given me an inside track because he's got some very interesting player props. So I'll be using that later. But yes, in answer to your question, Steve, I am very, very well. You can tell he's been away for a week. He's got a droopy mic. Look at that. Terrible news. But yeah, I'm good. Thanks. How are you?
I've been away for a while because my mic just went unplugged.
Well, I know.
They're very fiddly things. Yeah. Little gremlins in the system. I hope I sound all right. But I better not dare touch it now because if my cat comes on, she's going to be sent away straight away. But welcome in, everyone. Yeah, I was away in Portugal for a week. And I went last year and there was a lot more sun last year, I tell you that. Although it was a hell of a lot warmer than over here in the UK. When I got into Leeds Bradford Airport, the cold really hit me yesterday, Jack, it must be said.
Dear me.
It is what it is. I hope everyone's had a good, profitable week. Father Brian, good to see you. He's talking about hot dogs. He likes some huge dogs this week. Hoffenheim at Bayern Munich, Marseille at PSG, and Sunderland at Arsenal. Double on the treble. That would pay really well, Father Brian, I must say there. John Tate, good to see you. Good morning to you. Good steak dinner, one of the best names in chat. Good afternoon to you. Mike Byron, Zorba the geek, not Greek. Stay away at 7. Good to see you. Real Brandon King as well from snowy Toronto. He's gonna fade Leeds United today. I can't believe that.
Ooh,
dice ball. I've got a stat later on, Real Brandon King. It's going to make you think twice about fading Leeds United. And Sheriff of Tippingham, Barnsley's best. Simon Holden held up the fort really well whilst I was away. Good to see you, Simon. Hope you're doing all right. Villa fan, Ray, Byron, again. Arford 563. Welcome back, Steve. Thank you very much indeed. And King C. Sava, happy Friday from sunny Birmingham. Okay, right. Yes, let's get into some notable winners and losers yesterday. It wasn't the most appetizing card, was it? But over $10,000 was the place on Fenerbahce versus Ezra Rumsenspor. Over 4.5 goals live, -110. It was a loser, unfortunately. Not really too much else to report. There was quite a bit of action on that Fenerbahce game, actually. And some action on Juventus double chance against Atalanta. $7,500 was lost there as Juventus exited the Coppa Italia. Atalanta with a 3-0 win in that particular one. Notable live streams today. So many to choose from. Charlton, QPR in the Championship. Celta, Vigo, Osasuna. Verona against Pisa. Metz against Lille. We've got action in the Eredivisie. Nat Breda against Excelsior. You can watch Belgium soccer. You can watch RB Salzburg in the Austrian Bundesliga. 4 Irish Premier Division matches. Is that the first round of the season, is it?
Here we
Irish
go.
Premier League?
Here we go.
Yeah. Loads of other fixtures. Well, 5 League matches. ATP Montpellier as well in the tennis, of course. And we've got the Daily Double today. We're going to go through the main matches on the card, including that huge match at Ellen Road, Leeds against Nottingham Forest. And that double chance parlay, 44-1, says producer Troy. That's what it would be, Father Brian. Good luck there. Godgy 303, good morning from sunny California. He's saying Frankfurt over. And Bruelo Charles as well. Good to see you. Stairways waiting to hear this Leeds angle. Don't you worry, I've got some Leeds angles for you there. We're going to start proceedings in Germany, though. Union Berlin against Frankfurt. Union Berlin plus 104. Eintracht Frankfurt plus 255. A few months ago, I suspect the odds would be the other way round. No doubt about it. Eintracht Frankfurt, Champions League team. Union Berlin expected to be sort of more towards the relegation battle, if anything. But Frankfurt's form has been horrendous. That led to the change in manager. Albert Riera now in the hot seat here for Frankfurt after Dino Topmoller lost the dressing room reportedly. Union nearly evens, Jack. I can't be touching them there. I actually got a feeling Frankfurt might get a result here and pick themselves up. I really liked what I heard from Riera's press conference. And I think we're going to see a team that really on paper's top 6, 7 at worst, maybe show its quality at some point. It's a question of when. Maybe it's this evening. I'm more looking at the visitors. I don't know about you.
For me, it's a goals angle. Got 2 out of form sides here, but you say that change of manager is a new dynamic. But I think one theme that has ran through their season, regardless of results, there was good results, indifferent results, both say on a little bit of a patchy run at the moment, has been goals. Both struggle to keep a clean sheet. Both have got the ability to score goals. And I was generally surprised. I've seen the price kind of get retracted a little bit. It's getting nipped in. By the kind of hour, as I've been like identifying it, it was plus money. This is my biggest bet of the day, personally. I've got a couple of big bets out there today. This is a max bet for me, so I'm super confident. So it has to be part of the daily double. I've gone in big. I've been keeping my powder dry this week, waiting. I earmarked this bet early part of the week, and I'm on. And so the little bit of nipping in hasn't been such a problem for me personally, but I wanted to make sure I could put it out here today. So yeah, over 2.5 goals is my play in this one at minus 113. I think that's still a fair price when you look at both the sides as a whole.
Well, I've been betting on sort of overs with Frankfurt for quite some time, Jack, and I can't really argue with it, to be honest. I think they've been the problem is we know that this team on paper should be able to defend better, but it hasn't been able to. At some stage, I think maybe the penny will drop, but until we get into the stage, until we see evidence of it on the field, don't think we can even look anywhere towards the under. So I totally get where you're coming from. And actually, Union Berlin, sneaky over team this season.
Yeah,
they've been involved in far more higher scoring contest than you think. In fact, they actually rank around mid-table for over 2.5 goal games this season. There's several sides below them in that table. So you're basically looking at the value here and saying, when you say max bet, by the way, this is often different for a lot of people. But if we're on, say, a point system, and often a point system, say 1 to 10, would this be a 10 out of 10 bet then for you?
I'll be honest, my point system's only 1 to 3. So I base it on that. So this is a 3-star bet for me. So that would mean, like if I've got a kind of normal bet, for example, I'd treble mistake on this one. So that's where I'd go with it. And I've got a couple of those today. One is not involved on any of the main markets. So this one stood out at the start of the season. Both these sides, 8 out of 10 respective home and away games, have seen both over 2.5 goals. The last 5 home games at Union Berlin have seen over 2.5 goals. 4 of the last 5 away for Frankfurt. And as you say, there's a new manager coming in, and we might get a reaction from them. But turning the side round that has got the worst defense in the Bundesliga on the road, that's not an easy thing to do. I've seen it with manager that's got into Norwich. We've talked about Clement, who's done sensational work, but his first week in charge, we had a road game and got beat 4-1. You can't just flick a switch and get all that unprogrammed and put in so quickly, in my opinion. So I think that that for me, I've got to go with that trend. The odds just stood out to me. The stats back it up. Like my thought process on how the game's going to pan out stacks up as well. The reverse obviously was a 7-goal thriller. I'm not saying it's going to repeat that, but look, I like the bet a lot. I've had to go in. I've had to back myself and gone in. So that's what I've done.
Over 2.5 goals at minus 115. It's going to be the first part of your daily double as well. And I can tell you now, in terms of the betting splits for the game, 81% of the money is on Union Berlin. 76% of the tickets are on Union Berlin. 68% of the money is on the over, and 90% of the tickets are on the over for this game. I really like Eintracht Frankfurt on the double chance market at -137. I think they can deliver. I know that the recent form doesn't suggest it, but I think he's going to get a reaction out of these players. And Union, by the way, haven't won in a while. It's not like they've been winning games left, right, and centre. So I think they can get at least a draw here. Eintracht Frankfurt myself. Just looking at some of the comments, John Tate's come in with a couple of interesting ones. This is Union's fourth Friday evening game in the Bundesliga this season, and they're beating Gladbach, RB Leipzig both at home and losing to Bremen away. And Frankfurt have got plenty of Friday history as well. Good to see Bradbett's footy. Lucifer's going under 3 goals in this one. John, I think, makes a really good point about the manager. Riera, he's only had 4 days to work with the players. And I think he's more likely to have a reaction mentally from the players. He's talked about hard working and training well. In terms of tactics and systems, it might not be able to deliver what he wants this early. But I think he will. I think we are going to get a new manager bounce from Riera here in terms of these guys just need to pick up their ideas a bit and actually deliver the job. I think Eintracht Frankfurt are going to win this game. About, let's say 2 goals. Let's say 3 goals to 1, actually. Frankfurt deliver.
We'll take that. We'll take that.
Yeah, we certainly will take that. Okay. Just looking at some more comments. Loads of you in chat already, by the way. Good to see so many of you. Real Brandon King says, ride or die with Jack on the overs. It's a do or die sort of encounter here. What else have we got going in? Claudio's in the chat. Always good to see Claudio. And he's just on about his normal comments. He's been quite generous, actually, with the Premier League show there. 50 units.
The P&L, I think I saw the P&L comment. It scrolls across the top, like, throughout the show. So, like, I mean, one thing that can't be leveled at us is certainly the fact that we're not transparent. So, come on, Claudio, throw us a bone. And as I said before, if you think I'm absolutely atrocious this season and the stats would suggest I am, fade me and you'll be quids in or dollars in. Sorry.
Well, do you know what? I think runs and cycles go, in circles. Sometimes I think you do several winners, Jack. So, it's, like you said, though, tail or fade. And I'm myself, no problem in fading me. Several have.
No, do it.
Successfully at times.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We're here we're here to inform the audience on several different things. IUD.
I think the one thing you'll say, sorry to sort of dwell on it, but one thing that we do obviously is we don't just go, I think this is over 2.5 goals and then shut up. We tell you why. And if you go, well, I don't agree with that. I think the new manager's going to have an impact. I think this, or you then go, well, he said that. I'm going to look into it a little bit more. And you go, absolutely, talking out the top of his head. I'm going to go against him. Then, do it. We always give you the reasons why we like these things. We don't ever on any of the shows just give you a bet and leave it there. And these bets we put out are generally always around a decent backable price. So in that basis, you can always go on the other side of it. We don't go on like -$5 bets. We're always around that plus money mark. So it gives you the opportunity to play the other side as well. And so we always give our reasoning. So, you know what I mean?
Oh, 100%. Exactly. Well said, Jack. Totally there. And of course, we're not just involved in the soccer world. Tennis as well on this channel has been going from strength to strength. And talking to tennis, do follow the Instagram account if you've not already. I'll put a link in chat here. Nigel Seeley is out there in Montpellier at the moment. He had some tremendous videos already on there.
Well, the highlight for me was he was drinking a cappuccino in his first video. I was like, what's going on?
I know it was. I didn't even know he was going to Montpellier, by the way. I got off my plane and I saw that he was getting on one. So
I tell you, jet setters all over the place.
There's some great content on that Instagram of late, though. I've got to say, I think it's been an unbelievable start and shout out to Paula Hitman Hughes as well, has been doing some great stuff on there. But yeah, okay, let's move on to another game. We're not going to do Leeds Forest just yet, but we are going to do Metz against Lille in France. And this match involves, for me, the worst team in France right now. Well, in the top division of France, and that would be FC Metz. And Lille at -186 lost their last 4 straight games in the league. That might not be the most appealing bet to anyone, but really, I think the golfing class is just too much here. Metz on 12 points in the table. as for me, there's no one worse than them right now. Auxerre are kind of knocking on that door, but at least I feel they can defend to a degree. Metz can't defend; they can't score goals. Lille have lost, say, the last 4 straight, 3 of them to 0. But look who they've played against: Rennes, PSG, Strasbourg, and Lyon. Lyon have won like 10 straight in all comps. This is their dog here. They have been the dog's dinner of late, but I think they're going to clean up in this one, Jack. -1 Asian handicap for me here on Lille.
Yeah.
-109 is what I'm liking here. You know, that might sound a bit of a weird thing to say, backing a team that's lost 4 straight games.
No.
But this is a much, much easier game, in my personal opinion. Fixtures are king.
Yes. And I like that as well. I think when you look at these games sometimes and you look at form, and people can just look at numbers on a sheet of paper on a screen, as it is, they show my age there, sheet of paper. You go, oh, well, they lost 4, they lost 5, or whatever the stats are. You could dig into the detail, and that is absolutely right. And the key thing for me is that, who have they been playing? And now they've got a massive opportunity to bounce back. And it's which way you get it on side, because that price there is a little bit kind of off-putting, to be honest. Some people like lumping on those kind of prices, but the -1 is the standout. I was going, do you fancy a win to 0? Can you trust the Lille defence to hold out? Would you go over 2.5 goals and the win? Our Lille will then have to do all the heavy lifting. So the both teams score market, maybe even on the S side of it. So I think the -1 is the best bet. You don't have to go anything too flash with it. If they only win by a single goal, you've lost nothing. The -1's a lovely bet, isn't it? On games like this where you go, they're going to win. I'm not quite sure how they're going to win. It could be 5-2. It might be 2-0. So yeah, I think I'm with you on it.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the losing run that Metz have had, they've lost 7 of their last 8 games. 2 of those were 1-0 exactly. So you can't. I looked at the team total actually for Lille, over 1.5 goals, but that's at -177. I just think the Asian line's better in case it's that 1-0 scoreline for Lille. And this is an interesting one in terms of the money line. 74% of the tickets are on Metz. So Lille are maybe sort of down in people's estimations at the moment because of this poor run.
Yeah.
And it could be a chance to, if they were in form, probably looking at -1.25, -1.5 line against Metz, even with it being on the road. There is 67% of the money on the under for this game, which, let's look at the goal line again. I think it was like 2.75 goal line in general. Yes, it was. I can probably see that because Metz are quite a limited team at times. So yeah, I can maybe understand that one as well. You remember you can watch this match on the Bet Rivers app or on demand. Just looking through some more comments, I wanted to welcome in a new person into chat. That is at UD. I'm new here and I appreciate you all. Thank you so much for coming in. And loads of you also mentioning about the difficulty in terms of good and bad runs, but real Brandon King always fades beyond Dortmund. You do the right thing, real Brandon King. But I don't blame you on that one.
We've talked about it a lot, haven't we, Steve? And we had a quick conversation during the week. And obviously, with our show, we have 10 games to talk about. We talk about those 10 shows. There's no picking and choosing, is it? It's the Premier League show. That's what we have to work with. We then put our bets forward for that. And we obviously lean on the others. And last week was a perfect example where 3 official plays lost. And 5 of the 7 leans I put forward won. And that's been a common theme throughout the season, really. But is what it is. We're transparent. We hold our hands up to it. And so we appreciate the support and the fact that people enjoy the community and everything else that brings with it. So thank you all.
Jake Alvarez says, keen on Nottingham Forest tonight. Double chance. And a double with West Ham tomorrow. What is going on here? Why is
I think they're winding you up. That group message I sent out is working.
I can't believe this. Yeah, I can't believe it. BR Morian, with all due respect to the man, the myth, and the legend, my favourite fade on the network is Nigel in a match involving Emma Raducanu. Nigel and Emma Raducanu has not been a great mix, has it, in recent years? We all have a team or a player there, don't we? Everyone has one, at least one. There, you just, you want to fade the general opinion about it. Okay, well, we'll talk about Leeds in a minute. But before that, there is a new Betting Weekly live bonus bet, which has been going around. Tennis, soccer, basketball, whatever sport you're following right now, bet on it with a February fun bet. Betting Weekly and Bet Rivers have teamed up to give you a $10 bonus bet at Bet Rivers when you enter the bonus code BW201. That is BW201. Offer expires on February the 15th. You've got about, a week and a bit to do that. Must be 21. Eligible players only. Loads of, I say every single sport there you can get involved in with the fun bets. So absolutely get involved. I'll remind people of it later as well. Let's get into the main course then, Jack. Let's get into this main course at Ellen Road tonight. Leeds against the Nottingham Forest. Friday night football in the UK. Leeds United plus 117. Nottingham Forest plus 245. The tie at plus 235. West Ham fans all over are going to be keeping their eye on this match as well, aren't they? The results certainly implicating in that relegation battle. I mean, I personally think the odds for the game are pretty fair, actually. If anything, I would have Leeds closer towards the evens mark. I wouldn't have Leeds minus money, but I think plus 110 on Leeds would be perfectly fair. Nottingham Forest plus 245, the tie plus 235. I have watched the Premier League show. And I know you guys, certainly Nigel, are quite keen on Nottingham Forest here. I think it's look, the pressure's on down the bottom, and there's. I think this might be a little bit of a difficult phase for Leeds, although we do have favourable fixtures starting in sort of March time. A draw's not terrible for Leeds here. A loss, I think if Leeds win the game, I think we survive, by the way. I think if we win this, we'll be definitely staying up. If we lose it, I think it's in 50-50 territory. If we stay up or go down, a draw's kind of status quo. I want you to remind the viewers here, Jack, what your general thoughts are of this fixture at Ellen Road. Is it a strong bettable heat or not?
I think this is a really good game. I think it's going to be a really exciting one to watch. And I think it's a really tough one to call. Simple as that. I can't really get my head around how this one pans out. But it's huge. And I can't overstate that. It's a huge game because at this moment in time, these two sides are neck and neck in the league table, only separated by goal difference, only got the bottom three beneath them. And they've got a 6-point buffer at the moment to West Ham. So that means that a tie in this fixture puts 7 points between them. And that's a 3-game swing. West Ham have then got to win 2 games. And then the third game, at best, would be a tie to get them level on points. That's massive. That's massive. And you rightly said, a win for Leeds or a win for Forest, it's not guaranteed safety, but to put 9 points between themselves and the bottom 3. And look, Burnley and Wolves are gone. It's all about who's after that. And I think that just puts such a massive focus on this game. And do you want to be at home in those kind of games or do you want to be on the road? That's the question. And I've got different experiences of Leeds as far as that your home crowd concerned. It's phenomenal. There'll be a white hot atmosphere there on a Friday night in Leeds. Game on TV in the UK, the showpiece game. And that crowd can be, the old cliche, the extra man. However, if it doesn't quite work out, if Forest to score an early goal or if the pressure's on and Leeds misplaced passes that isn't quite so good, they can be a negative to Leeds. So that's where there's such a balance and I can't really call it how it goes. My feeling is Sean Dyche is going to want to try and take the sting completely out of that home crowd and try and get a foothold in the game and kind of grow into it. Obviously, if they get a chance from a set piece or a counter attack, which they are pretty strong on, and Leeds will potentially give them the opportunity to do that, then of course they're going to take it. That's where they're a threat. But I think you'd be quite happy to keep it nice and tight, keep the game 0-0, and then progress from there and look to see what you can do later on. I also think with this game, what is the approach? If this is 0-0 or 1-1 going into the last 15 minutes, are these two going to go, do you know what? That then suddenly becomes a game they don't want to lose. They can't bear the thought. If they lose that game and say West Ham then win tomorrow, and they've got a very good chance of doing so, then that'd be a 3-point gap between whoever the loser tonight is and West Ham. So that's how the game's built up, in my opinion, which there's so many like questions that I find it hard to answer. So for me, it's not really a betting heat. I have got a lean on it just for obviously for the show, and I did a different one for the Premier League show based around that idea. But yeah, what do you think?
Well, before what I think, I'm going to go through some more comments because there's lots of opinions on this game. Jake says, I fancy Leeds for the drop. Sorry, Steve, at 11-2. I do actually think that's a good bet to trade potentially in time, whether we go up or go down. I think we will trade shorter than that. We've got Man City and Chelsea away coming up soon, Jake. So I think it's not a bad bet at this point in time, no matter what happens down the future. Mike says, is it time for Pascal Struijk to score? John's got some interesting stats there about Leeds home games. Only lost 3 out of 12. Sheriff of Tippingham, the bonus fun bet has to be Forest money line. Sorry, meat man. Lucifer saying Forest draw no bet. Apparently Lewis Jones is back in dice ball as well, and his Jones's nose up. What is going? Why is there no love for Leeds suddenly? Like we lose 4-0 against Arsenal. Who cares about that? Yeah. Our season is not. We could lose 10-0 to Arsenal. It doesn't matter that game. I just think all I've heard all week is, Leeds was terrible against Arsenal. They were shocking against Arsenal. We were, but it doesn't matter against Arsenal.
Go on.
We've lost 9-0 against Arsenal this season. They're a terrible matchup for Leeds. Ginepi says Forest are a tricky side. He can't choose the money line. Friday night and Leeds fans will carry them, says Mike. Mike's starting to talk my language. I've got a really interesting stat for you here. Leeds under the lights at Ellen Road under Daniel Farke. The Farke magic, as we call it. Any match that is kicked off after 7:45 local time, and Farke has an incredible record. Now, quite a lot of these matches are in the Championship, but 20 matches under Farke at this kickoff time, 19 wins out of 20, 1 draw, and that draw was against Sunderland. 4 out of 4 wins in the Premier League at home under the lights against Everton, West Ham, Chelsea, and Palace. Now, I don't think Forest are any great shakes, are they? You're absolutely right. I think the crowd can make a huge difference here. Leeds is a fortress potentially under these circumstances. I don't really think Forest are anything special at all. You know, they did get that performance at Brentford, which shocked me, no doubt about that. But I'm actually more optimistic about Leeds than normal. And I think anyone looking at Forest would have to think of that stat. If we lose now, I think it is not a good sign for us. But stat under the likes is certainly an interesting one there. I do believe. Let's have a look where the money is for the game. And there's not much market support for Leeds either. Just 59% of the money on Leeds, which basically means we don't, not fancied at home. Just 64% of the tickets, 77% on the over 2.5 line, as opposed to the under. What about prop bets for the game, Jack? Other markets to consider here. You've got one. Is it the corners market you're looking at?
I've gone double here. I've done a corners are involved in it. You could play both these elements, I'm going to say, in their own right by moving the line up a little bit. Obviously, of course, on the Bet Rivers app, you can use the slider for both these and move it up. So there's a player that stands out to me that I think could get well involved, and therefore his fouls line is appealing. That's Elliot Anderson. So I just put him as a little bit of juice in this particular bet, over 0.5 fouls from him. 34 fouls across the Premier League season so far is the most of any Nottingham Forest player. In fact, the 5th highest in the entire Premier League. He's averaging 1.4 per game, 21 fouls on the road. The majority have come away from home. No real surprise in that. He's had at least 1 in 11 of his 12 road games this season in the Premier League. And including each of the last 9, he's also had 2 or more, which is available as a single, if you want to do it that way, in 7 of his 12 road games. So that, I think, in what will be a combative area of the pitch, would be an interesting one to do as a single, but forms part of a same game parlay for me. And the other part, you're right, is corners, over 9.5 corners. I was going to ask you your opinion on this. You are corner king, of course. And both these sides have got fair records, without being exceptional records. They've got fair records in corners. So over 9.5 in this same game parlay will bring the odds to plus 110. Over 9.5 in 7 of the last 8 Leeds matches, and in the last 4 at home. And there's 6 of the last 7 Forest games that have crossed over 9.5 corners. So it's a fair line. As I said, my concern is what happens later in the game. If there's a goal in this, then that's an in-play option for me, because whoever's losing this game, whoever's trailing this game, they're going to be throwing the kitchen sink at it. So that'd be one to look at in play if it goes that way.
Yeah, I do like the corners actually here. I think there's a good chance of corners, the way both teams play, could generate quite a few potentially along the line. Not a bad bet at all. So yeah, well, good luck whatever you are taking today in the. John makes a good point about Neco Williams is a big miss for Forest, by the way, after that red card last week. Integral part of their system. Good luck whatever you are taking. I'm not getting heavily invested in the game. I'm definitely not backing Forest, though. I'll tell you that much. Which is, and you know me, I'm actually usually quite pessimistic about Leeds, aren't I?
Yeah.
If we lose this,
with that.
If we lose this, I'll be absolutely all over Chelsea and Man City the next 2 weeks. I'll tell you that much.
You will be. I fancy we need a rallying call from you with some Yorkshire music piped in the background just to set us up for the game.
Someone was making about West Ham, putting West Ham in a parlay. I like West Ham against Burnley.
I'd like anyone against Burnley, Steve. They were so bad against Sunderland, weren't they? And Scott Parker looked shot to bits. And we've seen him in this before. They flashed up a stat of his Premier League results, and it's just absolutely abysmal. I'm surprised really he's lasted as long as he has done there, because they've never laid a glove on anyone this season at all. A mini revival of scraping a couple of draws, but they've been scoring goals. Both teams' score has been landing quite regularly over the course of the season, but they've been doing that with their last kick of the game on more than one occasion, just to scab a 3-1 defeat kind of thing. So yeah, let's see. Let's see how this one goes. Half Space come up with some interesting stats on Gibbs White there. Could be a feisty fair. What about cards? Says RHM. Maybe. Yeah, there's a lot at stake. Good luck to say whatever you are betting on in that particular fixtures. We've got several other matches to go through on the card today. Actually, we might as well go we'll go to Italy. Actually, Verona Pisa in this one. Two teams that this is the bottom two clash in Serie A, both on 14 points. We've had 23 matches. They are 5 points adrift of safety. Now, neither side are teams that particularly rate. I think Verona are better than their league position. They should have more points. They should have more goals. This is now very much in my theory territory stage of the season. Two desperate teams down there at the bottom of the table in dire need of a win, and a draw is going to do them absolutely nothing. So what do we do, Jack? We take the over 2.5 goals plus 135. I'm not even thinking twice about this. I'm not even looking at team news. I'm not even looking at recent form. I'm simply looking at that league table, what the teams need to do, and plus 135. It's like a system play almost from me in this sort of position. I will never back down on this sort of thing in any league at this stage of the season. The reasoning for it would be that Verona do have more goals in them. No doubt about it. They should have scored more. Maybe this is now the time against a Pisa team who have a knack of getting involved in more away matches involving goals as well. So it kind of ties hand in hand. I do like the goals in this one. Have you got any angle at all? Exactly the same as yours, Steve. And anytime I see a game like this, I remember how long have we known each other now? 4 years, something like that. And this is one of the first things I remember us talking about, the Steve Wyss theory games, and it sticks in my head. And I was like, this is one. And I wondered if you were going to go with it. The one caveat to this is that both sacked their manager last week, didn't they? So we've got two brand new managers in charge, interim or otherwise, in charge of this, which kind of throws everything up in the air a little bit. But for me, at the price, if this price was a lot skinnier, then I probably would have to think twice about it given the circumstance. But you're right, two sides at the bottom. They've got to go for it. They need the 3 points. And stats would back up the fact that there should be goals in it. So when I saw that price, this is another play for me. Simple as that. Over 2.5 goals at that plus 135. I just thought was too much to ignore. I'll be kicking myself if it cruised in. 7 of 11. Say for the hosts, 7 of the last 8 all been over 2.5 goals. 8 of 11 for the visitors in this one have gone over 2.5 goals. 8 out of 10. 8 of the last 10. Sorry. It's a combined 68% of their respective home and away games this season have seen over 2.5 goals. And if you were putting that into odds format, just so people can get that in their head, that comes out at -213. And we're getting on this one. I know it's not quite as simple as that, but on that basis, +135 is a massive, massive difference based on what these two sides are normally performing as far as goals are concerned. So, yeah, I'm with you, mate. Going to go in on this one over 2.5 goals.
Yeah, the manager situation. I didn't realize that Verona have actually appointed a new manager yet. But in terms of the Pisa perspective, they have appointed a Swedish coach, Oscar Hielmark, who is the former Elfsborg boss over in the Allsvenskan. They are very familiar with him. He's actually was one of the best looking managers in the Allsvenskan. And he brings something to the sideline. A bit of razzmatazz, a bit of charm. And that if you watch that Elfsborg team, they were pretty open. I mean, he's not had long in the job, so it might be a bit early for that. But look, must-win game for both. I think we get a few goals in this one. It looks like chat do like this one as well. Dan Roebuck likes the overs in it, and also Verona draw no bet as well. Verona draw no bet seems popular in the chat. They are the better team. There's no doubt about that. They are the better team. If they
Someone's mentioned a tie there. There's a history of ties. The last 4 head-to-heads have all been a tie. So if you fancy that trend to continue, and also, you're looking at 11 as a league high 11 league ties, hasn't there? So that's something to bear in mind. That's been something that's quite common, quite a theme. So yeah, we'll take a 2-2.
John Tate, who keeps coming with some great stats here. Pisa and Verona are 1 and 2 respectively for shots faced from set pieces. Centre back shots could be worth a look.
Love that angle.
Yeah, that's a great angle. Kieran Bowie is a new addition to the Verona attack, says Ginepi. I'm not familiar with him, Kieran Bowie, at all, actually. So let's see. It's another. Yeah, let's hope
you're thinking of a Bowie. You're thinking of a Bowie. I know your mind. You're thinking you're going. If he doesn't fire, then their survival hopes have gone to dust, ashes to ashes, dust to dust, isn't it? But
you beat me to it, Jack.
Yeah,
Yeah, you beat me to it.
Yeah.
I was trying to find something there. Former Hib striker, apparently. Well, that doesn't bode well, does it?
Is it?
Overall. I don't think it does. But watch him score now. What is he any time with Bet Rivers? Is he offered by Bet Rivers? Because often sometimes the new players are not actually offered. Kieran Bowie, I can't find him, but I'm sure
he's claim to fame.
Got to find him somewhere. No, I don't think he's offered right now. He's only just signed, so maybe he won't be included on the list. But anyway, in terms of the betting breakdown for the game, 61% of the money's on Verona, 69% of the tickets are on Pisa. So there's a proper split there. Just 62% of the money on the over for this game. But I do like over 2.5 goals, like I said. Okay, second part of the daily double then. We know the first part is the Union Berlin against Eintracht Frankfurt, over 2.5 goals. Really strong selection from you there, Jack. The second part, though, is in Spain. This is Celta de Vigo against Osasuna. And we've got Celta Vigo, a shade of minus money against an Osasuna side who are plus 310 on the money line. The tie is at plus 220. And over 2.5 goals is surprisingly big here. Osasuna fixtures of late have been littered with goals, both at home and away. This is an Osasuna side who have now finally won on the road. They beat Rayo 3-1 last time out away from home. But before that, they lost 8 of their first 10 road games. Jack, the question is that result going to be a flash in the pan or the start of something new? Which direction are we going?
I'm going to say it's going to be a flash in the pan. And we talked about it earlier on as far as maybe a bit of recency bias is concerned. And I wonder if that comes into the odds here. Celta Vigo are generally, they got off to a season, the start of the season was just, say, draw after draw, wasn't it? They just tied so many games at the start of the season, which has kind of impacted their overall stats, I'd guess you'd say. And then they've also had a couple of disappointing results most recently, but those were on the road. And then, as you say, Osasuna have finally broken the duck away from home and they've managed to get a win. But prior to that, it's just been horrendous. And the league is very much concertina together, isn't it? So those 2 bad results for Celta Vigo, coupled with that win, has kind of brought everything a little bit closer together there. So I just wonder if that's the case. And I just felt that I thought Celta Vigo should have been a shorter price than they are. they're only 2 points outside of the top 5. Those couple of defeats has kind of left them a little bit sort of stuttered in that situation. But at home, they won 4 successive games across all competitions. So 3 of those coming in the Liga as well. They won 8 of their last 13 league games across all venues. So yes, 2 disappointing defeats on the road, but zoom out from that, and that's a really consistent body of work that they put together. And say Osasuna have just been, again, they're in the top half, but they're only 4 points outside the relegation zone. So you can look at this just simply as far as they're not too far apart in the league, but potential could be complete extremes, really. And they've also lost all 6 road trips to sides currently in the top half of the table, which suggests that they do fall short when they come up against the better sides. Celta Vigo are currently in that situation. So I think that, again, as I said, I think there will definitely be value to be had in Celta Vigo winning it. Simple as that. There's some couple of bigger options if you want to say singles wise. Looking at Osasuna's record in the first half is very strong. Only Real Madrid actually got a better first half record than Osasuna, bizarrely. But Vigo can't come to life in the second half. So if you do fancy that kind of trend to continue, Osasuna to be winning at halftime and Vigo to be winning at full time is plus 1,800. But a tie at halftime and Vigo to be winning at full time is plus 390. And that's already happened 5 times this season in Osasuna road trips. But for the daily double, I'm keeping it simple. And it is going to be a Celta Vigo win at minus 104 to add it in for some. So make a nice price. There it is on the screen.
Yeah, I mean, I was quite high on Celta Vigo to start 2026 with. Recently, they're a couple of poorer results, but I think the schedules maybe got to them. I think they'll be quite pleased themselves not to have been involved in the cup round in midweek. They can have a rare week off on the training field. Osasuna, I've got to say, really impressed me at Rayo Vallecano with their tactical setup. It was an excellent away performance. Even then, though, I think they were quite lucky to win. It was a late goal.
Say that. 2 late goals. One was an own goal. The own goal was put in front, didn't it?
And the last goal was when I think the goalkeeper might have been out of his. So even then, they were kind of lucky to win despite a good tactical display. One thing I'll say about Osasuna is they are a corner killer. They are one team I would never, ever bet the corner overs in their games. The corner line is as low as 8.5. That is the lowest corner line I've seen this season in a game. I mean, you can get over 10.5 corners at plus 210. That is normally the main corner line in several Premier League games. But I would no way would I go on the corners. They just, the way they set up, they like to funnel the opposition inside all the time. It's the tactic they have. And I think sometimes they give away too many big chances that way, Jack, actually.
Yeah.
Because they're so pacific the way they play. So, yeah, I think we're going to find out tonight. Beating Rayo away is a different kettle of fish, as we say over here, compared to Celta Vigo. Celta Vigo are a genuine top 10 side. They're a Europa League outfit. They're a good team. So if Osasuna can deliver here, then fair play.
Yeah.
But
I was just going to break that down. So at this moment in time, Celta Vigo are 7th in the table, and you look above them. Osasuna have played all the top 6, and they've lost 2-0, 1-0, 1-0, 2-1, 2-0, and 1-0. So all those top 6. They haven't played Vigo, Sociedad, obviously they're 9th, and Alaves or Athletic Club away from home. And then the next road trip is Girona, who are 12th. And they lost 1-0 to them. So there's not been anyone inside the top. Well, their only point came at Mallorca, who are 14th. So, as I say, they beat Vallecano. You're right. It's a completely different story to go and then do that to a side like Celta Vigo.
Yeah, that's the official daily double today. Union Berlin, Frankfurt over 2.5 goals, and Celta Vigo on the money line to beat Osasuna plus 268. Agagade says, I think he actually likes Osasuna in this one, but what do you think of both teams to score yes in this match? I would agree. I do like BTTS, yes. I do like over 2.25 Asian goals at minus 109 as well. I think if you look at Osasuna's recent form, they've been scoring goals, but they have been conceding them as well. They have a knack, like I said, of conceding big chances out of nowhere. you watch Osasuna and they play such a good tactical system for a while, and then suddenly there's a random massive chance. I'm like, where's that come from? It's like the coverage is blown, sort of thing. I think it's like a zonal system which sometimes lets them down. I've noticed that with Osasuna quite a lot. Osasuna. Anyway, in terms of the money for the game, 79% of the money is on Celta Vigo and 88% of the tickets. 97% of the money is on the over for this game. Just going back at some other bets that people are suggesting. Over 2.5 goals, says Chippy Chips. Lucifer says Celta team total over 1.5. I like that one. Away, and John Tate is absolutely right about the Osasuna away goals actually against the top half teams. It's a completely different test for them. Stephen Hall, club record receipt for Bowie. He got 5 years. That's a good one, Stephen. And I just look, actually, Kieran Bowie, as this is a record sale for Hibs. They didn't disclose the exact fee. Why would they not do that? I don't know. But it substantially apparently exceeds the 4.4 million Celtic paid for Scott Brown in 2007. So what are we talking here? Double that? 8 to 10 million? Kieran Bowie, he's only scored 8 goals, though, this season in the SPL in 22 appearances. I mean, I would want a few more than that if I'm spending 10 million on a player from the SPL. Kieran Bowie, go out and prove me wrong, mate. But I'm not sure Verona have got a good deal here at all.
Time will tell.
Time will tell. Yeah, time will tell. ZT, good to see you as well in chat. What's your best bet of the day? We've got one more match to discuss, but before then, I want to remind people about the live bonus bet, which is available until the middle of this month. Tennis, soccer, or basketball, whatever sport you're following right now, bet on it with a February fun bet. Betting Weekly and Bet Rivers have teamed up to give you a $10 bonus bet at Bet Rivers when you enter the bonus code BW201. That is BW201. It's on screen. And the offer expires on 15th of February. It must be 21. Eligible players only. We've had a few suggestions, I think, in chat where that fun bet could go on today. So make use of the offer if you are eligible for it. Charlton QPR to finish the show with in the English Championship. And this is a proper pick'em, really, isn't it? Charlton, the very, very slight dog. QPR plus 150. Tie is shorter than 2-1, Jack. Any suggestions for that February fun bet in this game?
Yeah, this is quite a tough one on the main lines. And as I said, this should have been Lewis Jones sitting in this seat tonight, but he did contact me and said he's going to be at the game. Any chance we could swap? Obviously, I don't come cheap, and my negotiation skills are on point. So in return for that, he has given us some very interesting research and a player prop, which is a very exciting player prop, and is plus money at plus 220 is the player prop. So for me, as far as the game's concerned, I'll come on to that just to tie it up. And this is completely Lewis Jones's work, that side of it. I won't take any credit for it when it wins, which I think it will. Yeah, tough one. They both had good wins last weekend. Both have been a bit different prior to that. So they'll be looking to build on it. But I just think this could well be a little bit of a tight and cagey one. QPR are generally low scoring on the road. Their last 2 games ended 0-0. 4 of the last 5 across all competitions have gone under as well. And Charlton under is another one. I'll give you a little bit of heads up here. This is one of your favourite ones, Steve, isn't it? Nathan Jones. So it gives you a chance to think some song puns here for him. But that's the usual ones. Potential banana skin and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, yeah, it's important for Charlton to pick up points at home. So this is a massive game for them. They don't tend to concede too many. The one thing you'd say about Charlton, anyone either wants to put a same game parlay together for this or add it into a parlay across the night, Charlton tend to score at home, but they tend to only score 1. They've only failed to score in like one home game in the league this season, and so they tend to score 1 goal. They're not prolific, but if they can hold on to that, I think that will be the plan. 3 of their last 4 have gone lower as well, and I'm thinking lower is pretty. Again, the price has been hit a little bit on the unders here. Both seem to score no. That would probably be my route in as far as that. I'd be aggressive. You want to play unders and go under 2. That's plus 125. Obviously, you get a push if there's exactly 2 on that one and a full refund. Both teams score no is minus 112. I think it'll be a tight, low scorer in London derby, of course, tonight. But I'll tell you Lewis's selection. He messaged me last night with it. And I'll read it word for word from what he said, but he said that QPR's most important and creative player, and he's been given license to switch, is a guy called Nicholas Madsen. For a shot on target, he's plus 220. Obviously, you can then look at him on the other variants of that as well to score, etc. But QPR have switched to a new system, a 4-2-3-1 system in the last 2 games. And I say it's given him a little bit more license to express himself in that. They've also put in 2 of their better performances against Coventry and against Wrexham in those last couple of games. Now, Madsen had 5 shots across those 2 games, 2 shots on target, and he's on some free kicks. He also had a shot on target in the reverse fixture. And Charlton, this is the kind of icing on this particular cake, Charlton have faced more shots than any other team in the Championship this season. So you would expect him to have ample opportunities to pull the trigger. And at that price, I think it's a huge price, looking at his most recent stats and even going a little bit further back. So plus 220 for a shot on target. I was going to put it in the daily double, but I don't want to steal Lewis's thunder. It's all his, and we'll celebrate that win later on tonight.
Nicholas Madsen for a shot on target.
Yes.
Love it. Love that. And I love this 1 goal thing from Charlton. John Tate seems to have cottoned onto it as well. This 1 exact goal from Charlton. Nathan Jones has done a good job here. I mean, the relegation battle in the Championship looks like it could go right to the wire. Maybe Blackburn are finally going to win me a futures ticket and actually get relegated, Jack.
Hopefully they'll get Pisa the weekend.
Yeah. So, yeah.
It's been blown open, hasn't it? The relegation battle's been blown open because Leicester have had their 6 points deducted. Yeah. So they're now down in amongst it. Sheffield Wednesday have obviously gone, but there's some others down there. West Brom are free falling while they've still got Ramsey in charge. That looks like an absolute recipe for disaster. After just a handful of games, the crowd have turned on him. They've turned on the players. And that normally only ends in one thing, doesn't it? That normally ends in mean that you're going down.
I really like Birmingham to beat them this week. I think Birmingham are a great bet. I think Leicester are just an absolute mess on and off the field. And yeah, hopefully, I mean, Norwich, I think, are nearly even money to beat Blackburn, which surprised me. In that particular. Although Blackburn can be awkward. They're just that sort of team that can sometimes just be awkward.
Again, they sacked the manager, haven't they? They got a positive result, but it was only against Sheffield Wednesday. That was 1-0. I fancy over 2.5 goals in that game, Norwich versus Blackburn. I think Norwich will edge it as well. And I'm going to be there. So I look forward to it.
As a reminder, that's the daily double today. I'll put it on the screen in a minute. It's over 2.5 goals. Union Berlin against Frankfurt and Celta Vigo Osasuna. Celta Vigo moneyline plus 268. Aside from, I mean, your best bet is in that Frankfurt game of the day, isn't it? Over 2.5 goals, clearly. Yeah. A max bet that Jack has come out with there. It would be one of my. I really like Frankfurt in that, not to lose, by the way. And here comes cricket, and this could be trouble. Good job it's still at the end of the show, isn't it? It is. You can watch the Premier League show. You can watch the Extra Time show. She's going to knock this microphone and pull me out. And you can watch Betting Weekly Live PM as well later. The Super Bowl is this weekend, Jack. So, you know, Doug and Mike have been talking about it all week. They're going to be going through it again. So many markets you can bet on in the Super Bowl, of course. We've got the halftime show with Bad Bunny this year. We were talking about this off air. I'd actually never heard of him. I'd never heard of this Bad Bunny. So I had to Google him up. I'm sure it sounds like I'm in the minority. I show my age a bit. But I'm looking forward to the Super Bowl this week. Who you got winning the Super Bowl? I've got the Seahawks winning it. But
well, I totally agree with you, Steve. Seahawks all the way.
Yeah, Seahawks for me. But I want to wish everyone a really great weekend. Best of luck, whatever you are taking. I suspect there's going to be a ton of money wagered this weekend across all sports. Huge. It's one of the biggest betting weekends of the year. And let's get some winners on the soccer field tonight, Saturday, Sunday, to really get those betting coffin banks up and ready to rock and roll for that Super Bowl. That's the plan. So yeah, I want to remember to gamble responsibly, but do enjoy yourself this weekend and cash several winners. Thanks everyone who joined live or on demand all week. It's been good to be back. And we'll catch everyone again on Betting Weekly Live on Monday. Jack, it was a pleasure as always. It was an absolute blast today. Yeah. Good luck.
I'll see you again Monday, Steve. I'm back on Monday. I'm back on Monday.
Are we on Monday?
We're back on. We're back on again. Yeah, you might notice me a bit tired watching the Super Bowl. Then we've got the Premier League show being recorded on Monday because there's a midweek slate, and then I'm on with you in the live show. Oh, yeah. So, what a start to the week! I can't wait. It's
going to be brilliant. Byron says Bad Bunny equals just bad. Let's see how he gets on. All right. Take care, everyone. Ray, take care as well. We'll see you on Monday on Betting Weekly Live. Loads of content to watch over the weekend, either live or on demand. Check out the boys later, Doug and Mike. They've been hot with the Daily Double this week as well. They're looking for 4 out of 5 on the Daily Double this week tonight. So see you, everyone. Take care. And until next time, goodbye.